Hello everyone, my name is Matt and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping in today. Today's pick a card reading is going to be all about what do you need to release? What do you need to let go of in order to thrive? What is standing in your way as an obstacle of getting what it is that you desire? That's what we're going to be unpacking today. The Scorpio Full Moon is coming up, so this is a really potent time for releasing things. Scorpio energy is all about endings and beginnings and transformation, and full moons are kind of about power and completion and abundance. So I figured now is the good time to be addressing these things and asking these questions. So I want to give you all the opportunity to do that today with this video. Again, this video is timeless, so even if you happen to stumble upon this after the full moon, that's totally okay. If you are feeling called to watch this video because you want to release something out of your life, then this video is meant for you no matter what. So these are our 4 piles today. We have pile number 1 with Bloodstone, pile number 2 with Howlite, pile number 3 with Flourite, and pile number 4 with Amethyst. So I encourage you to take a moment and pause the video if you'd like and really ask yourself that question, what do I need to release? What do I need to let go of? And kind of see what pile ends up calling you. And then once you're ready, you can skip down to the comment box or the description down below to find the timestamp that's associated with your pile, and you will be able to go ahead and watch your reading. So yeah, just take this time to ask yourself that question and then we'll get started. I'm going to go ahead and start the readings now, so if you haven't picked a pile yet, feel free to pause the video, and then once you have selected, you will be able to choose the timestamp associated with your pile down below. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this reading resonates with you. Alrighty, hello everyone. For those of you that picked pile number 1, the Bloodstone pile, this pick a card reading is for you, all about what it is that you need to release. I want to start off by saying that it actually really looks like you guys are on a solid path right now. We have a bunch of court cards here with the Knave of Wands, the Queen of Coins, and the King of Wands. And so I really do think that you are in a pretty comfortable place right now. I think ultimately what it is that you're being called to release is your kind of fears regarding asking help from other people. With the Queen of Coins right here, this is kind of where you're at the moment, and this kind of indicates to me that you are perhaps in a position where you feel like you need to be more on top of your stuff and that you are unable to ask help from other people because other people expect you to kind of look after them. Like right now you are kind of in this position where you kind of have power or authority or just kind of like a mothering instinct almost. Like people kind of look to you for guidance, for nurturing, for inspiration, even potentially for financial assistance. And I think that you are kind of a little bit more reserved and careful about being vulnerable. Earth energy is very careful and particular, and I think that you are kind of in a position right now where you are afraid to ask for help. Leading up to this, you've been, making a lot of moves for yourself. You are advancing, and that's why a lot of people are kind of like more willing to lean on you at the moment because they've seen the growth that you've undergone and see the growth that's coming to you in the future. I will say that, like with the King of Wands here, you're just going to kind of keep leveling up, and you're kind of already like, on top of your stuff. Like I really do think that you're growing and evolving. We start with the Knave here, which is also the Page, and then we have the King over here. Like you are really growing and you have a lot of potential, but you need to introduce balance in your life between giving and taking. Like look at this card right here. It's perfectly balanced with 3 coins on this side, 3 on this side, and these hands are in a perfect agreement with each other. So while I do think that it is important for you to continue to give to people because that is ultimately what's going to make people want to give back to us, you need to also let go of any fears or reservations you have about being able to ask for help from other people. And this could be any kind of help. It could be financial when we have the coins cards here, but it also could be you actually being vulnerable with your emotions. It could be you being vulnerable about your passions. With the wands here, it's all about kind of like our passion, our creativity, our spark. Maybe you have some ideas that you want to take action on, but you're afraid that other people are going to judge them. And I think that you need to let go of that, and you are going to be able to step into more power than you already have with this Queen of Coins right here. And you are going to be able to be such a visionary that people are going going to follow by your example. You're going to be able to take direction. You're also going to be able to give direction, and you're just going to be in a state of just initiative and leadership. I see you really starting things and really changing things and just completely being in your power. But it all kind of starts with you being able to receive as much as you're willing to give. So even though you feel like you're in this position right now where you have been expected to kind of hold it all together and to have all the answers, you need to make sure that you are also looking to other people. You know, like with these two faces looking in right now, I think that people are looking to you quite a bit. But you need to know that you can look to your past, you can look to your future, and more importantly, you can look to the people around you. There are people looking at you that are just as willing to give to them what you have given to them. So yeah, like you need to be able to let yourself receive help from others. You need to let yourself receive inspiration from your past, inspiration from your future, and guidance from other people. You know, you have been very helpful and assisting towards others because you frankly have just like this natural, nurturing, inspiring quality that people really look up to. And that's why people ask so much of you. But also, you still have a lot of growing and learning to do too. Like pages are all about learning, and I think that even though you have learned a tremendous amount, you still have some more growing to do, and that's gonna, you know, kind of happen more naturally when you allow yourself to receive help from others. I think the major thing that you need to release is any reservations you have about vulnerability, and you need to be able to reach your hand out and ask for help just as much as you've been willing to give it to others. Your next two cards are Psyche, Sacred Union, and Pan, Nature. So with Psyche and Sacred Union over here, I think this is just kind of reinforcing the idea that there are people around you that really truly do want to help you. I don't think that a lot of the people in your life that have been asking for your help and for your guidance have been doing it in a way that is like, you know, snaky or manipulative or anything like that. Obviously, like if you're feeling those vibes, then that's something like to be pondered and something to think about. But I'm getting that like these are connections that are actually really important to you, and your connection in their life is important to them as well. This union is sacred, like this card says. So you can trust that the people that have been asking you for help would also be more than happy and more than willing to give you that same help in return. Again, like it's all about balance. Like there is so much love to be shared between the two of you, so many resources to be shared between you and everyone around you, that there is incredible potential for you all to grow and thrive and prosper together collectively if you're willing to have that give and take, if you're willing to have that balance between vulnerability and strength, where you can be a source of inspiration and guidance for others while also still looking to others for help when you need it. Because you can't just like put on a face all the time where you can pretend like you have it together. Like if you are going through something, you deserve help too, especially if you've been giving it to others. So really just take this time to appreciate the connections that you have around you, because those connections are, you know, very like true-hearted. You know, these people genuinely do care about you, and these people genuinely do want to help you and see you thrive as well, because you have helped them so much and they're more than willing to return the favor. And it's just going to make everything glow in your life. Like it's going to be something that makes the whole world, you know, kind of like spin better. And then as you begin to feel yourself being comfortable with being vulnerable and being able to ask for help, as you begin to release that, you're going to get connected to your more natural self. With Pan of Nature over here, this is an indication that you could need to spend more time in nature. So maybe like part of what you need to release is like just staying indoors all the time. But hey, like summer's coming, at least in the northern hemisphere. So, you know, this is an invitation for you to kind of get in touch with nature and, you know, stop worrying so much about who you are in like a world that constantly is pressuring you to be productive, a world that is constantly pressuring you to be composed and perfect all the time, and ask, who are you outside of that? I think that when you are allowing yourself to kind of be helped and to be guided and be inspired by others, you're going to get more in touch with who you are naturally, who you are when you are acting upon your own inspirations. I see you acting upon your own inspirations more, because King of Wands is very much an energy of doing what you want, but in a way that is not necessarily stubborn. It's just you acting upon passion and acting upon your own motivation because you are living in such truth and alignment to your own nature. So I see that's coming in for you so long as you're willing to release your reservations about asking for help. Also, we have the Emperor at the bottom of the deck over here. Again, you're stepping into your power. The next few cards we have here are Glove, Ghost, White Dress, and Eye. So I want to start with Glove here, actually. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but Glove, I mean, like in this situation, like I feel like, again, like it's just another symbol of like a hand, you know, like you're kind of like, in the past, you've been one to kind of give. Like I can imagine this hand, like it's not kind of reaching out like this, it's more like this. Like you've been giving things to other people and you need to flip that hand around and being able to receive it. This card does kind of talk about money and status and complacency. So again, like if this is about money with all this Pentacles energy up in here, you need to make sure that you are not being milked dry by other people and that people are, you know, like, offering to, like, you know, take you out, offering to treat you, paying you back for what you've done for them, you know? You need to make sure that you are not being leeched off of because, you know, like there is potential that like that could exist. Again, like I do think that a lot of the connections that you have are sacred and like a lot of the friendships and the family and the people that you have around you are people that are trustworthy and want to help you as well. And you just need to know that. You need to know that you can ask for help from them. With the Ghost card here, I do think that part of your reservations about asking for help are rooted in your past. I think that maybe you have been hurt before, maybe you have been in situations where you put yourself out there and you were vulnerable and you asked for help and people did not receive it well. And I think that that's the big thing here is like White Dress is all about society and appearances and even gender actually. So maybe like you are afraid of asking for help because of how society will perceive you, how people will look at you. You are afraid of asking for help because you do not want to seem vulnerable. Like right now you have worked your way up from the bottom to the top with this Page of Wands and then Queen of Coins energy. Like you are kind of in a place where people are looking to you because you are so kind of like confident and composed and you don't want to ever seem vulnerable. But the truth is, that's just not how we are doing most of the time in life, and you need to be honest with yourself. You need to actually look inward and be true to your own nature, and like we're not always going to feel on top of the world all the time. Like you've done an amazing job and you have so much to be proud of, and I do think that you are on a path right now of incredible greatness and power. So like I do recommend that you kind of keep doing what you've been doing overall, but you need to kind of let go of what the public thinks about you and whether or not like you are actually, what you need to let go of whether or not the public is perceiving you as doing okay or not. You know, you have to be able to let your guard down. You need to be able to let your walls down and ask for help from other people if you need it, because you're only going to receive if you're willing to ask. You know, if you never ask people for anything, you're never going to get it. So you need to be willing to extend your hand out and be like, hey, I need a hand, I need help. And you know, people, you will be surprised at how much people are willing to help you, okay? I promise. So again, just don't be afraid of asking for help. Your next few cards are Take Time to Breathe Out, so everything is going to be okay. New Moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. Okay, so yeah, again, like this is kind of like the past energy that I've been seeing for you is like you've been giving a lot and now it is your turn to take. Obviously, this card does say a time to give rather than take. I say that, you know, this is a reminder not to like, you know, let go of your nurturing qualities, you know, don't let go of your giving qualities. I do think that part of why you are thriving is because you have been of incredible service to others and people are incredibly thankful for that. And again, that balance is necessary because if you just take, like that's not going to be good for you either. And, you know, then like, you know, that will have its own repercussions. So obviously don't completely like, you know, just take from people, but know that you are being given the go-ahead to be able to receive help from others, you know? Like, you're doing great right now because you have been able to give help to others, because you are someone that is, you know, a visionary, someone that is nurturing and helpful. That's part of just who you are. That's part of your nature. And it's part of why people appreciate you. But you need to be able to let yourself receive that same service and that same help. We have the balsamic moon, a time for healing. And work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. Oh my God, new moon in Scorpio. I mean, like, we have a full moon coming, but like still same kind of energy. You know, I see new beginnings happening for you with these 2 new moons over here. And it's all about working through your own fears, about your reservations, about asking for help. Again, like, the message could not be more clear. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again, but you know, like, that's just what I'm getting right now. Like, you need to be able to heal from your past, heal from the moments where people have ghosted you if you asked for help, heal from the moments where people made you feel embarrassed, people made you feel like shitty for, you know, putting yourself out there and asking for their assistance and their guidance. You need to let go of that and know that the people that you are currently surrounded by want to help you, okay? So if you're willing to extend that hand, you will be able to, you know, reap the benefits from it. It's all about taking that first initial step. Up next, we have Pluto, transformation, the South Node, life's debts. Interesting. I actually don't think of like life's debts often when I like think of the South Node, but like this is such an interesting interpretation of the South Node in this specific reading. And Jupiter return, benefits. Okay, yeah, see another very clear message coming through that has just been reinforcing everything that we've been talking about so far. I do want to talk about this first, actually, though. South Node is kind of, you know, the idea of our past life and what we need to work on in our current life in order to, you know, end old cycles. The South Node and the North Node kind of go hand in hand, and the South Node is what comes naturally to us in this lifetime, and for you it might feel more natural to just do things on your own rather than to ask for help, but I think that you are going to be pleasantly surprised by the amount of transformation you will experience with Pluto over here when you actually do reach out a hand. Jupiter return benefits just says right here, like, you will grow, you will have good luck when you ask for these things, you will be abundant, you will have just so much wisdom that you're learning, you're going to feel just on top of the world. Jupiter's the king of the gods, it's the biggest planet, like, you are going to feel on top of your shit. It's no wonder that we have like this king energy in your future. It all starts with you being able to be vulnerable, you know, actually searching for what's underneath and being willing to share that energy with other people, because Scorpio energy is actually ruled by Pluto. And Pluto talks about everything that is hidden, everything that is underneath, but also the things that we kind of share with other people. It's like that 8th house energy of shared energy, like intimacy, shared finances, things like that. And so you need to be willing to, you know, receive your fair share of what you have given, you know, and then naturally life is going to pay that debt back to you in great amounts. So that is what I am seeing from that. And then also we have Chiron of healing over here, and that again just feels to me like you're healing from your past, and that's going to allow greater abundance into your life than what you're already seeing, because frankly, again, like I'm seeing, you're already in a great place. And if you are watching this and you feel like you're not necessarily in a great place right now, you know, it's possible that, you know, maybe you're not thriving as like much as you're used to, because maybe the message that you needed to hear right now, despite where you're currently at, is just that you need to be willing to ask for help. But I think also this is kind of reassurance that you are in a better place than you actually think you are, and you're heading in better directions than you think you are. So just have faith, give it patience, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We're going to take our Astro Dice to figure out any more clarification on this reading. All right, we have Gemini in the 12th house and Mars. Oh my God, this is crazy, because this is actually a transit that I just experienced. Low-key, this message is probably from me. But yeah, with Mars in the 12th house, that's not a particularly fun transit. Mars is, you know, kind of like a planet of aggression and anger. It's a malefic planet, and the 12th house is about our subconscious, everything that's hidden underneath, again, with that Pluto energy and our fears, and like our nightmares and things like that. It's possible that you have been having a lot of nightmares. It's possible that you've been struggling with a lot of anxiety and intrusive thoughts lately. Especially with Gemini here, it's possible that you've had a very, you know, just active mind that is like choosing violence every day. But when I see Mars and Gemini here, I'm seeing that the action with Mars here that you need to take is being able to talk. Gemini energy is all about communication and speaking your truth and being honest and reaching out to, you know, your small social circles. Like maybe like this is an encouragement to reach out specifically to friends, but also to siblings and neighbors. That's kind of what Gemini energy rules. But with the 12th house here, again, like you are being asked to address these fears, work through them, and then realize that you have a support system around you that is willing to help you so long as you're willing to communicate what it is that you're going through. Because people don't want you going through this energy. People want to be able to support you. People want to see you thrive. And you know what? You will again. You are on the come up. You're already doing fantastic. It's going to happen. You do deserve great things. And you do deserve to be able to be assisted as much as you have assisted other people. So that is what I'm seeing for you today. Do not be afraid to ask for help, and know that there are plenty of people in your life that do want to support you. They are there. So just, you know, be willing to take those walls down, you know, like everything's going to be okay. I promise. So that is what I'm seeing for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up, and thank you so much. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Alrighty, for those of you that picked pile number 2, the Howlite pile, this reading is going to be for you, all about what it is that you need to release right now. Right off the bat, the message that I'm getting is that you need to release the need for others to validate your ideas, the need for others to validate your opinions, the direction that you're going in, just generally the need for validation from other people. Because right now I'm seeing that you have incredible ideas that you are being blessed with, and you love them. With the Empress at the bottom of the deck here, or not at the bottom of the deck, but at the bottom of this spread, this is kind of the energy that you're in right now. And I sense that you are, you know, loving yourself and taking care of yourself, but you're also looking for that external validation. That's what the 3 of Coins is kind of all about. It's other people admiring our work and the things that we've done. That's what's holding you back. I think that you are putting yourself in a kind of stagnant position. Like right here, she's sitting, you know, like she isn't able to move anywhere. And I think that you're kind of stagnant right now because you think you lack the resources that you need, because you're like, oh, well, like I need money from other people, or I need like their positive approval. Right now, so much is being hidden from you with this High Priestess right here, because you do not need to know what other people think of you. Like, frankly, like, you know that you have good ideas. That's what this Knave of Swords and this High Priestess is all about. It's all about like our own inner awareness and our own inner knowing. You have to know and trust that your ideas for whatever it is that you're trying to create are good. I'm assuming maybe like, you know, some of you are creatives, or you have this like new career path that you are maybe like going on or something like that. Or maybe there's like a relationship that you're wondering if other people approve of. Those opinions are being hidden from you, because also look at the bottom of the decks over here. We have the Moon and the Pond. The Moon is all about things that are hidden. You know, it's nighttime, it's dark, we don't see a clear path. And the Pond is like murky, like we don't know what's going on underneath. Everything about like the other opinions of other people right now is being literally hidden from me, even in this spread. So I can't tell you whether or not they're going to approve of whatever decision it is that you're trying to make, because what it is that you need to release is the need for that approval. You need to stop caring what other people think of you. You need to stop waiting for the go-ahead from other people. You need to, in fact, just stop waiting for other people, because even if it is, you know, people that are supportive of you, if you become reliant on their support in order to move forward, then you're never going to be able to grow forward on your own. And I think that you are someone that is able to just like sit with the confidence and knowledge that like what you are doing and the ideas that you have are good. You do not need any external support. You know, the High Priestess is a card that's really about solitude and almost confinement and isolation. Like, I think right now, your job and your responsibility is to just kind of like sit with your own ideas and know that they are good, and to act out of your own interest, act upon your own desires, rather than waiting for other people to validate them or to give you like, you know, the financial support or the moral support, whatever you may need right now. you think that you need it, but you don't, you know? You have all of the power. You have all of the things that you need, and you are holding yourself back by saying that you need something from other people. You don't need things from other people in order to achieve, you know, whatever it is that you're going after, you know? You need to release the idea that you need other people to create whatever it is that you are trying to create. The ideas that you have are incredibly innovative. They're incredibly inspiring. You are like, you know, your mind is blown, you know? And I think that you need to worry about, you know, yourself right now and doing your own thing and not worrying about what other people have to think about it. Your next two cards are Pontus, the Unknown. Oh my God, again, the Unknown, and Hebe, Play. So Pontus, the Unknown, again, like, don't look to other people. Like, you know, you're never gonna know people's true opinions about things. Like, frankly, they could be lying, you know? Like, again, like, the opinions of other people are being hidden from you right now because you don't need to know their opinions. Like, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. That's what you need to know right now, is that it doesn't matter what other people think of you, you know? You're never gonna truly know, and that kind of vast unknowingness is kind of almost where we have like a lot of creative potential, because like you don't know where things are going to go, and that's where like some beautiful things can be born. Like, you know, if you try to copy like the same, you know, tried and true pattern of like, oh well, like this person did this and people supported it, so therefore I should do the same thing, that kind of is gonna create like the same product. Whereas you could create something new, something fresh. Hebe's the goddess of youth, so I see you birthing something completely new, completely innovative, and, you know, stand out. And like, I think that you are going to, it might feel like a little bit weird and like a little bit odd at first, but I think that you are going to be very happy, you know? Like, it's also with the Play card here, like I think that you're being asked to get in touch with like your own joy. Like, you should be doing things not because other people are there to approve of it, but because it's something that is making you happy. So do the things that make you happy. Do the things that you think are good ideas, because they are good ideas. And don't wait for other people to approve of them. Because then, like, if you're just waiting on approval, then that like sucks the joy out of it. Because then, like, what if, hang on, there was a phrase on the tip of my tongue. Ugh, it's gone. Okay, whatever. If it comes back to me, I'll definitely let you know. But again, I'm seeing this major need for you to love your own ideas and to play and to experiment, you know? Like, you're only gonna really know if these ideas are gonna take off in the way that you want, and if you're gonna eventually, like, you know, get support from other people, if you're actually willing to experiment. Right now, I think that you're a little bit afraid to put yourself out there and to experiment with these ideas because you're more focused on the approval and the validation of other people and the resources from other people than you are worried about the actual process and the discovery of whatever it is that you're trying to create. Our next few cards are Cauldron, okay, House, Toad, and Book. All right, with Cauldron here, again, like, you're brewing something, you're creating something fresh, something original. Like, this is your own unique recipe. Like, no one is doing it quite like you. And, you know, something's stirring. Like, I think that you need to worry about like what's in your own pot rather than looking at what other people around you are doing, whether or not other people are, you know, like looking to see if like you're using the right ingredients, you know, if you're following the rule book, if you're following the recipe. Stop worrying about that, you know, just make the thing, you know, just create. I think that that's the big thing here, is like you are trying to create something, you're trying to birth something, and you're not making any progress because you are afraid that other people are going to judge it. And I think that this is like kind of just like a deep-rooted, frankly, trauma issue. Like, I think that like your inner world, since the house kind of talks about like our innermost like private life and like our innermost kind of like secrets and our, you know, our little doors inside of us, you feel like you need the support from other people. Like, that's how you kind of feel stable. That's how you like have structure, is you're like, okay, these people support me, so therefore I know that they are in my corner, and therefore I'm able to build. I'm able to grow from there. I'm able to kind of craft something new. And I think that because you have like not been supported in the past in some of your decisions, you kind of rely on that support in order to go forward. But I'm sorry, like that is what you are being asked to release. Like, you need to worry less about the opinions of other people and worry more about the process of creating and trusting that your ideas are so visionary and that the people in your life are so supportive of you that they are going to do whatever it is like that you do no matter what. And if they don't, fuck it, like, sorry, like their opinion doesn't matter. Like, obviously it's one thing to, you know, kind of like be doing something and like not caring about other people's opinions, and it's another to be like completely reckless. Like, if their opinion is that like you are putting yourself in a dangerous situation, like that's a little bit of a different story, but I don't think that's the general vibe of this reading right now. I think that overall you're afraid of creation because you are afraid of what other people are going to think of it. I think, frankly, also, like with the toad here, this kind of talks about the grotesque, the ugly, the humor, and I think that maybe you are afraid people will laugh at you, people will think you're ugly, you're afraid that people will just judge you, you know? And frankly, like that's probably making you feel very small, and it's making you feel very powerless, but ultimately, like, you need to not worry about whether or not they are going to approve of you, because nobody's ever going to be completely on your side, you know? But you are able to snatch up like these new ideas, and you are learning so much. With this book here, I think that you have been like, you know, putting in a lot of time and effort into learning, and you're getting inspired, and you need to, you know, like take, you know, like those initial steps towards that. Like, this toad is looking in the direction of the book. It's actually looking up right up at play. I think that, again, like you're going to feel more powerful if you're more willing to connect to your ability to play. And I think that as you begin to do that, you know, if you can imagine a toad like kind of like snatching flies with its tongue, or do just frogs do that? I don't know much about the difference between frogs and toads, but either way, like, I think that you're going to notice more ideas coming in because you're being less critical of them to begin with. Like, I don't think you're entirely critical of them. I think that you do like your ideas. You just want other people to also tell you that they like them. You need to not worry about that. I know that I've said that a billion times, but I'm gonna hammer it in until it gets through. Stop caring about what other people think of you, because you're brilliant. You're doing great. Your next few cards are Be Bold and Make the First Move, Cardinal Moon. Okay, there we go. I mean, like, that's a huge sign right there. You need to be able to take that initiative and know that, yes, some people might judge you, but also some people might not. Some people might think that you're a trailblazer, and hey, that's awesome. Have faith in your dreams. Okay, so whatever it is that you're trying to go after, you need to have faith that it's going to work out regardless of whether or not other people are going to support it. It's going to happen, I promise. Look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius, okay? The full moon in Sagittarius is actually what's coming up after this full moon in Scorpio. So I think that the month from the full moon in Scorpio, if you're watching this when the video goes live, to the full moon in Sagittarius is a great time for you to let go of these opinions so that you can kind of see that growth over the course of the next month. It takes 21 days to build a habit. So, you know, if you catch yourself like worrying about the opinions of others, maybe you can make it a habit somehow to not. You can like make it a habit to do something that makes you feel confident, do something that is you acting upon your own ideas so that you can kind of see the amount of potential that you're working with. Because look at the bigger picture, these people are just going to be like kind of small support systems, you know, like obviously it's good to have support from other people, but the bigger picture is this goal that you're trying to create. That is the bigger picture, and you need to focus on that. You need to focus on the fact that you have brilliant ideas. Sagittarius energy is literally all about, you know, being philosophical and wise and, you know, kind of just like having an expanded mind. Like, you are brilliant. So don't rely on the opinions of sheep, frankly. And then believe in the impossible, blue moon, look at that. Anything it is that you want to create, you will be able to do. So if you are aiming to do something, don't even question about whether or not it's going to happen, because you are able to do it. You just have to be able to not critique yourself by imagining what other people are going to think of you. That's what's holding you back, is the idea of other people criticizing you. Instead, if you lean into the idea of, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want because I know that what I'm doing is brilliant, because it is, then other people are naturally going to be attracted to the way that you shine about that. And then people will naturally kind of want to support you. Next we have Aquarius. I know, again, knowing ourselves, knowing that our ideas are good. Aquarius is very innovative. If anything, Aquarius energy is a little bit weird. It does stand out quite a bit, and some people think that Aquarius energy is very odd, and you might feel weird for the ideas that you have. You might feel like you're going to stand out from a crowd in a way that you kind of don't want. Like, you probably don't want to draw too much attention to yourself, but Aquarius energy is so, like, rebellious. Like, Aquarius energy is like kind of detached, and so Aquarius energy is what you kind of need to lean into, because it is innovative, it is a trailblazer, it is something that is fresh and exciting and new and revolutionary. Like, I think that you have the creative potential to completely change not only your life, but like to inspire other people around you, and to just lead this whole revolution that is going to inspire people. So lean into that. Scorpio, I transform. Again, what was I saying with transformation? Like, you need to be able to work through your own fears of, you know, the need for validation from others. Scorpio energy is about our shared energy, our shared intimacy. I think that you almost kind of expect and wait for people to criticize you, and that's kind of how you self-sabotage. And ultimately, like, you kind of have this shell with this like Scorpion energy here with this stinger, and like, you need to be willing to just like not be afraid. Well, I shouldn't say like not, I was gonna say like you need to be willing to sting people, but I don't even know why that message is coming out. There's something about the stinger there that kind of wants to come out. I guess like, I think that you are kind of preparing yourself for the worst, and that's what the stinger energy is kind of all about. Like, you have your stinger almost at the ready in case like someone is going to critique you because you are afraid of being hurt, when really you need to just trust and have faith in your own ideas, and trust that people are going to be, you know, supportive of you. I think that trust is a huge part of this reading, you know, like trusting in yourself and trusting that others are not going to judge you the way that you think that they might. Others are going to support you more than you think that they are. And first house, the body. So again, I think like putting yourself first, getting into alignment with your own path. The first house is essentially the ascendant or the rising sign in astrology, which talks about, you know, our life path, our purpose, what we were trying to live in this lifetime. And so I think that by letting go of the opinions of others, you're going to be feeling yourself more than ever. You're going to be more confident than ever, and it's going to completely get you into alignment with the path that you're supposed to be on. We're going to take our astro dice here and get any additional information on this reading. All right, we have Scorpio. Look at that. The sun. So some of you might be a Scorpio sun. And the fourth house. It's funny that the fourth house rules home, actually. So I kind of wanted to put that there, but I think that might actually be cropped off by the camera. I don't know. We'll see in editing. But the fourth house talks about our home, our roots. And so I think that, again, like part of this these trust issues may have originated from home, your home life, your family life, the way that you grew up. Like, maybe you were taught that you can't really trust people growing up, but right now you need to be willing to let yourself shine. Like, the sun here indicates that this is the time for you to be able to shine and to share your ideas and to be able to trust people, because Scorpio, again, is a very transformative energy when you're allowing to let people in and when you're allowing to let yourself stand out. And so I think that you can't let yourself be stuck anymore. Like, right now you're stuck, and that's very opposite of Scorpio energy, you know? That's pretty much Taurus energy. Like, you know, they like to be comfortable, they like to be secure and stable, and that's also fine, but you are going to unlock tremendous amount of creative potential if you actually let yourself shine and you give less of a fuck about other people's ideas of you. I think you need to heal, you know, I kind of think that you need to heal your innermost world. Like, you have had some like very, very deep issues that have prevented you from being able to express yourself fully, to love yourself fully. And that kind of starts with like addressing the root of these issues. I think that you're going to have a lot of an easier time being able to let go of the opinions of other people if you address why you care so much about the opinions of other people in the first place. It likely did start very young with the fourth house over here, and it may have something to do with your current home environment. I think that ultimately you are being asked to address these things so that you can transform your own life for the better. Alrighty, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this reading resonated for you. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. Alrighty, pile number 3. For those of you that picked the Flourite pile, this is going to be your pick a card reading about what it is that you need to release. So right off the bat, we have the Chariot, we have the King of Wands in reverse, and then your blockage is the Ace of Wands followed by the Ace of Cups. Honestly, what I think that you need to release is waiting for inspiration to strike. I think that right now you're not really taking any action. You're just kind of sitting around waiting for your motivation to come back, waiting for, you to get an idea that's going to make you act. I think that you're waiting for something to happen in order for you to gain momentum, in order for you to gain passion, in order for you to gain inspiration again, in order to, seek new opportunities. I'm assuming that in the past, you were kind of, working on something, you were moving, and like you had a goal, you had a direction, and I'm assuming something went wrong along the way, and that kind of has you feeling like you're not feeling like your best self right now. We have the King of Wands in reverse. When the King of Wands is in reverse, that's very much the energy of us feeling like we are not in an ability to take leadership of our own decisions. We're unable to kind of guide others. We are not feeling like we are capable of taking charge of our lives and, sitting in our power as much as we possibly can be. I'm assuming that maybe you are hesitant to make decisions right now because of things that have gone wrong in the past. Maybe, honestly, you were a bit impulsive in the past. Ace of Wands can be like very quick energy, and maybe like you engaged in some impulsive, risky behavior. Maybe that's why things went wrong along the way. I'm really sensing, though, that you are waiting for something to happen first in order for you to move, and I think, honestly, you kind of need to learn how to move on your own, and like sometimes the answers do not come as easily to us. Maybe we're going to find out in this reading like how you will be able to find movement again. But I saw this quote the other day, and that's what's kind of coming into my mind right now, and it said, discipline will take you places more than motivation can. And I think that that's very true. And like, it can be hard to have discipline sometimes. Like if you're feeling depressed and unmotivated, it can be hard to like actually get yourself to get up and get moving, And like, I've been there. Like, it's really hard to not tell yourself like, I can't do this, like it becomes very easy to just get stuck in that cycle of I can't. And the thing is, like, you can. It's all a matter of like telling yourself that you can, and you can do so by like taking small steps at a time. Like, I think that maybe you are focused on the long-term goal and you think that there's just this long journey ahead of you. Like, this is what you have your eyes set on, is this like promise of fulfillment. That's what the Ace of Cups is all about. It's like, this new opportunity, this goal that you're trying to reach. And right now you see this long, expansive road ahead of you, and you see all these obstacles in your way, and you're not quite sure how to get there, but you were already on that path. Like, you had movement before, and it feels like, you kind of lost control along the way. And that's kind of what has you hesitant in order to get moving again. And that's why you're waiting for new inspiration to strike in order for you to feel like you can get moving. But I think that you might benefit from taking little baby steps, like I think that part of the reason why you are not getting any movement done is because you are setting too high of an expectation for yourself for the goals that you need to accomplish. Sometimes we need to set littler goals for ourselves in order to actually gain momentum again. And I think that that's something that would be beneficial to you right now, is like just saying like, okay, rather than doing all of this, I'm just going to do this, baby steps. And then that's how you kind of inch your way forward. I once saw this image of 2 ladders, and one had like a zillion little rungs, and then the other had all these rungs that were like super spaced out, but there was less rungs. The person that had a zillion rungs was way up the ladder because they were actually able to like climb, whereas the person that had all the spaced out rungs wasn't even able to reach up to the first one. So baby steps is really the way to actually get yourself closer to your goals. And I think that if you're waiting for some fantastic opportunity to arrive and be presented for you that you think is going to advance you, you're just going to continue to be stuck. Whereas if you actually take your own action, take your own initiative, and find ways to get yourself going again, that's when you're going to find yourself closer to being fulfilled. You're also like, and you're heading in a direction where you are going to be happy again, you know? And like right now, like I do see that like, you know, with this King of Wands in reverse, you're not really feeling yourself right now, but like you are going to, again, you just kind of have to, you know, get yourself to get moving again. And like there are a bunch of ways to get doing on that. Like sometimes it requires us reaching out for help. Sometimes it just, you know, requires a shift in our mindset, because like the mind can be a powerful thing. If you keep telling yourself, I can't, you're not going to be able to. So, you know, find yourself in those moments where you are saying that like you can't do certain things, and then ask yourself why, and begin to change your mindset into a more positive attitude. And I promise it will change your life for the better. Your next two cards are Persephone, Awakening, and then Chiron, Healing. Okay. So with Persephone, again, like I think that this was something kind of unexpected. Actually, with Persephone and the Chariot right here, I feel like this kind of like really goes hand in hand. Persephone, you know, like as a goddess when she was little, she was kidnapped to the underworld. It was like a very unexpected shift that she was not ready for, but she had to make the best of her situation, right? She was literally kidnapped on a chariot and like ripped away from her mother and the world that she knew, and was like sucked underground and like forced to be queen of the underworld, and then became trapped there. But she made the best of her situation, and she kind of grew as a result of it. I think that with the Chariot and Persephone here, you kind of were on a path and you were kind of gaining a lot of momentum, and somehow you lost control or you lost momentum along the way, and it kind of awakened you to the reality of your situation, and it kind of, you know, made you feel like somber, and it made you aware of a lot of things that you didn't know before that are now beginning to feel like obstacles that make your long-term goals feel impossible. I think no matter how you've been hurt in the past, no matter how you've gotten hurt along the way, the important thing is to heal from it, you know? Like Chiron is a teacher. I think that you need to learn whatever lessons that you adopted along the way and just begin to apply them, you know? Like Chiron is the wounded healer, and so you need to take your wounds that you have, you know, gathered along this journey in your life, and, you know, use them in a practical way. And like, I know that that's kind of stereotypical, and I know that, you know, that's not the advice that we necessarily want to hear all the time, because like our wounds are our wounds, and like we shouldn't have to go through trauma in order to thrive. But I do see with Chiron here that like you have this, you know, really good potential for getting a lot of like extreme joy and happiness with this Ace of Cups here, if you actually use, you know, the lessons and the hurts of your past and transform it into energy that actually does motivate you, rather than waiting for motivation and happiness to come in. I really do think that you're waiting for something to happen to you first, rather than you having the discipline to begin to get yourself back up on your feet again. You know, like you need to get galloping again with this horse imagery. Like you need to just like move. Like Chiron is like the centaur, which is like the symbol of Sagittarius, is the archer, right? Like I think that you need to like have an arrow and just like, you know, shoot it in a direction. Like you need to just like pick one thing, one goal, and just begin to take baby step towards it. And then like once you get on those baby steps, once you set little goals for yourself, you'll begin to feel yourself moving again. And then once again, you'll be on this chariot, and you'll have learned from before, and you'll be able to just, you know, like get on the steadfast path towards your desires again. Your next few cards are again, like setting our sights on what we want, clarity, the Lion, Bees, and Lantern. Okay, so again, like the Eye is all about like clarity, it's about awareness, it's about kind of like learning and knowledge. And so I think that you need to have like your eyes set on a particular goal and begin to make moves towards it. I think that you need to get feeling proud of yourself again. Like right now with this Lion energy with the King of Wands in reverse, I think that you're not feeling too proud of yourself. You're not feeling too confident, but you can. You know, you have so much to be proud of, and I think that you're going to start feeling like a lion again once you actually start like setting your sights on a particular path. I think that the assistance of friends might be helpful to you right now with Bees here. That's kind of about togetherness, harmony, working together and collaborating. Like maybe if you are feeling stuck right now, the way that you're going to get out of that is by reaching out to other people and like collaborating. Maybe the way that you're going to be able to get yourself out of that is by, you know, pulling in your social circle and being like, hey, I need guidance. That's what this Lantern is all about, is beginning to take steps forward. You're not going to know the entire destination. I think think that with the Chariot here, you have all of these fears about the obstacles that lie in your way, but you don't know what actually lies in your way. I mean, like, maybe you do somewhat, but the lantern, it only has so much light around it, right? Like, we have the light that's in the back of us and the light that's in front of us, but if you are just carrying a lantern and it's nighttime and everything is kind of really unknown, you only know what is immediately around you. So take the things that are immediately around you and make the best of them as you can, and know that, you know, you're going to be supported along the way. And as you begin to take steps forward and as you begin to move, you will become aware of the new things that begin to present themselves, and you will be able to handle them accordingly. So don't let fear stand in your way. Don't let, you know, waiting for motivation to strike stand in your way. Just keep going and keep moving with the flow. Your next few cards are a time for healing. Once again, we have a healing theme running through here. A personal issue reaches conclusion. Bet, full moon in Cancer. Step out of your comfort zone, North Node. And look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. Oh my God, yeah, like earlier I was talking about Sagittarius energy. Again, movement, expansion, growing. That's the direction that you're heading in, but it's gonna require you to do all of these things. A time for healing. Like, I think that there's some sort of hurt that you've experienced in the past that is preventing you from kind of growing, but that issue is gonna get resolved. And you know, I think that that's gonna require you to be vulnerable. Like with this crab shell, it's like you are kind of protecting yourself, your home, your own emotions. And I think by letting other people in with this bee energy, you are going to be able to actually, you know, like come out of your shell and step out of your comfort zone. That's what's going to get you back into alignment with your life path. North Node is all about our destiny, where we're, you know, trying to go in this life, the goals that we set for ourselves. You are going to, you know, break out of this particular issue, this particular pattern, this bad habit by, you know, putting yourself out there again and just being willing to take that first step. You need to be willing to look at the bigger picture and know, okay, this is my long-term goal. I am done just sitting around and I need to actually do something to move towards it. And once you start making baby movements, oh, all of a sudden it's gonna be like a snowball, you know, it's gonna like gain momentum and you're gonna start going again. And although gaining momentum can be scary because that feels a little bit unpredictable and frightening, I think that you have learned from the past and it's going to, you know, like you've learned from your wounds and you're wiser now. Chiron is all about like wisdom and learning, and you're still going to learn, but you have learned so much that you're not going to find yourself quite in the same position as this again. And even if you do one day, again, that's when we have to, once again, resolve our personal issues, step out of our comfort zone, and get moving again. I think that you just need to keep moving, and lean on people for support when you can. Know that you have so much to be proud of, and as long as you have your sights set on a particular goal, you will reach it, you know? You just have to keep pushing yourself. Our next few cards are Aries, I am. Air element, communication. And fourth house, roots. That's actually the second time the fourth house thing has popped up today. That's interesting. Aries, I am. This is literally all about initiative, starting things, taking risks, being bold, knowing who you are and being proud of that and being able to begin something. You know, Aries is admittedly like a little bit impulsive. And like, I know I said earlier that like maybe you were a little bit impulsive in the past. I think overall, Aries energy is fast. And I think that right now, like, you need to just get yourself going again. Like, Aries loves a thrill. Aries is the energy of making decisions and being so decisive that you're able to just like go ahead and do it. And I think right now that is the energy that you need to lean into, is that quick Aries energy of, you know what, like, I'm gonna do this. I'm strong, I'm capable, I can do this. Like, I'm the shit. You are the shit. Like, fucking do your thing, because like you're gonna be so proud of yourself once you do decide to step out of this comfort zone. Because honestly, the comfort zone of being kind of in a place where we're stuck is kind of a trap. Like, it's very easy for us to get very comfortable being like, oh, like, I'm very stagnant right now, and like I am such a victim because like I like, you know, suffered from all these things in the past, and like those are all valid and fair, but at one point or another you need to recognize when you are just leaning onto that for comfort versus like actually preventing and stifling your own growth. Because at a certain point you do begin to stifle your own growth when you, again, stay in your comfort zone. It's comforting to stay in a position where we are, you know, kind of stuck because we know that like nothing can kind of hurt us. We know that there's nothing that can really prevent us from getting hurt the same way again by us not taking risks, by us not taking new leadership and initiative in our life. And that's just kind of how we get stuck. Like the fourth house, like roots, I think that you are going to root yourself into this situation if you don't continue to move yourself, if you don't communicate with other people, if you don't communicate with other people about what it is that you want, and if you don't communicate when you are hurting, that's how you are going to get stuck. But I think that you are going to have a more transformed inner personal life with the fourth house of roots over here if you actually do decide to make the first move, to step out of your comfort zone first rather than waiting for something to strike you. I think right now you're just very like much in a sitting energy, and instead you need to take off. Air and fire are both very fast. And I think that right now you are being asked to just take action, to stop waiting around and to just do something. Because right now with this fourth house of roots, like you are very comfortable just like, you know, being in your little box, being in your little container. And like, you know what, like that's fine. Like we are allowed to have a comfort zone. It's important for us to have a comfort zone, but acknowledge when you are staying in your comfort zone to your own detriment. We're going to take our Astro Dice to get any additional clarification on this reading. North Node, look at that. Once again, the second house and Taurus. Okay, interesting, because the second house and Taurus actually go together. I'm gonna be honest, like Taurus energy is very much about comfort. It's very much about staying like comfort in the sense of, you know, security and structure and like sometimes even stubbornness. And I think that you need to be able to reflect on whether or not like the comfort that you are creating for yourself is a matter of structure and stability or stubbornness, right? Because like, I think that the long-term goals that you have look a lot different than where you're currently at right now. And there is like movement that needs to happen. There's change that needs to happen in order for you to fulfill those desires, in order to go after what you value. The second house is about our values, our possessions, our finances. I think that right now you're feeling compelled to stay a little bit still, and that's the energy that you need to break away from. Like, granted, you're going to be a lot more comfortable in yourself if you find that you are able to create a secure and stable environment for yourself that also is meeting your long-term goals and your destiny, right? Like, we don't want to just stay stuck forever. And I'm not saying that, again, like Taurus is like just this like lazy energy that doesn't want to move. Like, Taurus is very practical. Like, I think that you need to be practical and realize that, like, you know, things take work. You need to, you know, put one foot in front of the other. Like, they're very like slow building, like, you know, recognize that things aren't going to happen fast all the time. You need to recognize that this inspiration is not just going to suddenly strike you. I mean, like, sometimes it does, but again, like I said, discipline will take you places motivation can't. You need to be disciplined with yourself. That's what North Node and Taurus is all about. Taurus is very disciplined. And I think that by doing that, you are going to create a new comfortable that is way more fulfilling. A new comfortable that is way more fulfilling. Alrighty, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video resonated. If it did, please give it a big thumbs up. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. Alrighty, pile 4, for those of you that picked the Amethyst pile, this reading is for you, all about what you need to release. So we have the Devil, the Fool, with the Knight of Wands as the blockage, and the Queen of Wands. I think right now you are in this Fool position because you have the incredible potential to create a new beginning for yourself, but you are stuck in the habit of returning back to old toxic cycles. That's kind of what the Devil talks about, is the way that we kind of indulge in things that are not necessarily good for us, things that are toxic, things that are, you know, like a guilty pleasure, things like drugs, alcohol, unhealthy relationships, things like that. And the Knight of Wands is easily seduced by thrill. The Knight of Wands, I think, is suggesting that what you need to release is impulsive, risky behavior. I don't really have a better way of wording it. I think right now you feel very easily tempted to make decisions for yourself that you kind of move towards very quickly without giving much thought to the consequences, when really you have incredible potential to create a beautiful future for yourself with this Queen of Wands energy, where you are just like powerful, and instead like you're being seduced by the devil. There are things that you kind of feel yourself always coming back to, decisions that you're constantly making over and over again that kind of keep you stuck, that kind of keep you waiting, that are preventing you from kind of moving forward. The Fool has all of this potential just waiting as long as they're able to take a leap of faith, but I think that you're kind of making leaps back in a different direction. I think that you have been led into this place where you are kind of on a precipice of discovering something new, or kind of staying familiar with the old. And like what I was saying earlier with the Knight of Wands easily being seduced by thrill, something that I actually learned through being in a healthy relationship and from like a doctor on TikTok is that when we are in a kind of healthy situation, we do not have as many fluctuating emotions. We're a bit more stable. And so that can easily get boring. That can kind of feel like we are not actually enjoying ourselves quite as much because we don't have such intense high highs and very low lows. And so we can easily kind of fall back into old patterns where we are feeling enchanted by the things that actually like bring us that kind of like high intense energy. The Knight of Wands is actively kind of seeking that adrenaline and that thrill rush, and I think that's kind of what the devil does for you in this case, because it's something that, you know, is always kind of exciting you. It's something that keeps you young, but it's also something that kind of keeps you shackled, you know? And perhaps there's a way that you can kind of learn to balance it, but at the moment, I think that you are making risky decisions. I think that you are kind of constantly, you know, not thinking too much about like what you are doing first before you do it, and that's kind of preventing you from growing into your utmost potential. So right now, I think you're being asked to assess things more carefully before you begin to take action. The Knight is about action and movement, and I think that you need to pause for a second before you actually move and assess whether or not the choices that you're making are actually in your best interest. Your next two cards are Hera, Duty, and Selene, Intuition. So I think a great way of assessing whether or not something is in your best interest is using your intuition, you know? Like, are you actually, you know, is this guilty pleasure of yours or this cycle something that can be managed, or is it something that needs to be cut out of your life entirely? Like, with intuition, you know, I find that it whispers rather than screams. Like, I don't know, the devil like can be a card that like kind of prompts a lot of anxiety, and so I don't want you guys to like feel anxious and like, you know, question your decisions all the time, because, you know, like I do think it's important for us to be decisive and to have awareness, but we also have a duty to ourselves. Like, I think it's important for you to know what it is that you want right now and to hold yourself to those standards. It's like Hera, you know, decides to stay faithful to her husband because she's the goddess of marriage. And even though she could be like spiteful and vindictive and vengeful and like cheat, she has her own honor code that she abides by, right? So if there is something that you kind of feel yourself constantly returning to because you are like thrilled and seduced by it, whether it's like, you know, a toxic relationship, whether it's drugs or alcohol, it's important for you to assess whether or not there is a balance there. If like you are indulging in a guilty pleasure every once in a while, or if it is something that is actually toxic and bad for you, whether or not you're living up to your own personal honor code of living your best life almost. Like, I think that you have a duty to create the best possible situation for yourself, to create a situation for yourself where you are feeling powerful, where you are feeling strong and confident, and that is the potential that is waiting for you, but you are kind of stuck right now. Like, you're being prevented from, you know, taking that leap and growing and going forward because you are a little bit out of balance right now. That is what I'm getting. And so I think that for you, like, you need to really listen to your own intuition about the decisions that you're making. You need to, you know, It's interesting because I feel like intuitive nudges are things that do kind of come in quickly, which can, like, you know, bring that kind of like decisiveness very fast. And I almost think that right now you need to slow it down a little bit and just, like, you know, very carefully consider your options. Like, I almost think you should embrace Knight of Coins energy, where you kind of like are assessing things very carefully and moving a bit more slowly. And I think that listening to your intuition more is going to help you be able to lean into that a bit more, because you're going to have a greater understanding of what it is that you're doing that's keeping you in this cycle of going back to toxic things that kind of keep you shackled, that prevent you from growing and moving forward. Your next cards are Lantern, again, kind of like our intuition, our inner guide, Rabbit, Hedgehog, and the Moon. Okay, interesting that we have two things of the Moon right here. Again, the Moon is kind of all about intuition, but also things changing, you know, like the Moon is constant, like wax and wane and full and new. And so we never really it's constantly switching it up. And so maybe, like, you know, like, you're not always going to have a clear-cut answer. Maybe things are going to be changing a lot of the time, and, you know, that's fine. Like, as long as you're not leading yourself astray, as long as you're listening to your own inner guidance, that's the most important thing. I think that's what's going to be able to help you make leaps forward that are quick. You know, like the rabbit is, like, you know, hopping from one thing to the next, you know, like, it's all about kind of like taking leaps forward and making sure that you are taking care of yourself and protecting yourself. Like, hedgehogs are quite timid and, like, careful about, like, who they let in. Like, I really do think that you need to not be reckless right now. Like, you need to be very sure that what you're doing is actually in your own best interest, because that's what's going to leave you feeling like most powerful, most on top of your game. That's going to give you this goddess energy by living to your own moral, like, honor code, and having a duty to yourself to create the best possible situation for yourself. Because frankly, with the devil here, like, if you keep putting yourself in bad situations, that's never going to happen. So understand that, like, you might have to let go of certain things that are, you know, something that you feel really deeply connected to and tied to. Like with this rope here, it's like you don't want to let it go. Like, there's so much resistance that's stopping you from letting it go, because it is that addictive, it is that charming, it is that enchanting. And that's why, like, I kind of feel like it's important to bring up the Moon thing, because, like, I don't sense that this is going to be something easy for you to let go of, but it is something that you need to be a lot more careful about in your usage of that, or your involvement with whatever this toxic thing is. You need to be listening to your intuition and, you know, living your own honest truth. Your next few cards are Be Bold and Make the First Move, Have Faith in Your Dreams. Okay, these are cards that were actually coming up earlier. Hold Your Vision, and Confidence is Your Key to Success. So, alrighty, well, it's actually interesting that we have the fixed moons there as well, because Leo is a fixed sign. Be bold and make the first move. Okay, so I guess, like, this is kind of a lot about, like, decisiveness and awareness. I think that you need to, yes, make moves, but you need to make moves that are in your best interest. Like, if you're making moves that are in the interest of the devil, again, that's going to keep you stuck. That's what you need to release. And you need to have faith in your dreams. Like, you need to have faith that whatever is kind of giving you this, like, temporary thrill, this temporary happiness, you can find that somewhere else, and it's going to be something much more fulfilling than whatever this is currently giving you. But you have to, like, kind of be persistent. You have to be adamant about it. You need to constantly dedicate yourself to letting go of the things that are so, like, charming and seductive, and continue to just, like, hold your head high. That's kind of what that confidence is your key to success thing is all about. Like, you know, not getting lost in our own pride, but, like, being able to move forward with confidence that we can start a new journey, we can write a new book, and we are going to be happy and fulfilled no matter what. We are going to be listening to our intuition. We are going to be able to have a vision that is so perfect that we don't ever even desire to go back to this thing. All right, next we have the Moon, the soul. Okay, interesting. Lots of Moon imagery coming out here. Part of Fortune, Increase, Bet, and Solar Eclipse, Revolution. So again, solar eclipses are things that need to be taken out of your life in order to make room for the path that you're supposed to be on. Like, this is a horrible time for manifestation is eclipses, because like those are the times where things literally get forcibly ripped from our lives so that we do not do them anymore. And I really think that, you know, like with the Knight of Wands here, like you're being discouraged from going back to things that are not good for you, because eventually, like, especially because eclipse season is actually coming up, like it's very likely that this thing is going to get ripped away from you, and it's for the betterment of your soul. Like, you know that it's good for you. You know that it's better for the it's better for your emotions, it's better for your soul, it's better for your heart. Like, you are going to be way more emotionally fulfilled with this part of fortune increase when you actually listen to your own intuition and instead, you know, are more calculated about your decisions with regards to your movement forward. Like, you need to be practical. You need to not be impulsive. You need to be mindful about the decisions that you're making, because that is like, you know, like the stepping stones of your life. Like, when you make these decisions, you can get trapped in them very easily, and then, you know, you kind of continue to be stuck, when instead, like, you have all of this potential. You have all of this, like, you know, possible change that's awaiting for you with this revolution. Like, there is so much that you haven't even discovered yet, because you keep on making like quick decisions. Whereas if you are a bit more practical and a bit more mindful about the things that you're doing, you will be very pleasantly surprised at the emotional fulfillment that you're going to discover. All right, and we're going to take our astro dice to discover any final information. All right, we have Aries, we have Neptune, and the 10th house. So Neptune is kind of the planet of, you know, confusion and fog. It's known as the Great Dissolver. It's where we, like, sometimes, you know, lines become blurred and we don't always use our best judgment. And Aries is the sign of, like, I'm going to do what I want to do. It's kind of like selfish. It's self-serving at its, like, worst state of being. Like, it's very, yes, like, decisive and quick, but that's, like, again, that can be to our detriment sometimes. And I think that, you know, when you make decisions, sometimes you're holding on to a particular dream that you have about, like, what this thing could be. Like, you are, like, it's like the devil is wearing a mask. You're like, oh, like this could be so different. And, like, you really wish that, like, the actions that you're taking for your, like, hopes and wishes are going to provide different results than what you're getting. But I think in the long term, like with the 10th house in Aries over here, like, you are going to be sitting on top of your power and being able to make decisions for yourself once again when you are not as deluded. Like, I really hate to use that word, but, like, Neptune is like the planet of delusion. Like, you need to make sure that you are not getting caught up in fantasy. You need to actually be realistic, be grounded in reality. 10th house is kind of all about our reality and our, like, reputation and our image and stuff like that. You don't want to, like, get caught up in this, like, fantasy version of what you, like, think that you're supposed to be. Like, maybe you are constantly going back to these old, like, habits and these old toxic patterns because you think that this is who you are. You know, the Aries mantra is I am, but you can always change who you are. With the Fool here, you have a lot of creative potential to, you know, sculpt a new reality for yourself that is more concrete, that is less diluted, that is more honest. And I think that that is what you are being encouraged to let go of, is, you know, making decisions that are not in the best interest of who you honestly are and what you are trying to create for yourself, not getting trapped in old cycles that are stifling your own growth and stopping you from becoming the person that you are ultimately supposed to be. Because the 10th house is kind of like, you know, like us, where we are at when we are most powerful. So you are kind of inhibiting your own potential when you let yourself get trapped in these old toxic cycles. So you need to be a bit more calculated about your decisions and the ways that you involve yourself in, like, habits and patterns, because it's like, is it a guilty pleasure or is it something that's consuming you? So that is what I'm seeing for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video resonated and I hope this reading helped. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful night. Bye.